Hi everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you are doing very well. My chickens are in my bad books because they got over that fence that we put up rather hastily last weekend, which they had not got behind all week. And then Grace and Sally managed to get past it. So I'm not happy about that. Luckily, I think they had literally just got over and they were more concerned about getting back than eating anything that was in the garden. But still, colour me not happy. You don't want to hear about my chickens. You want to hear about my Sunday musing, which they've all kind of taken a bit of a similar tone lately. So I'll come to that in a second. But before I do, I just want to thank those of you who chipped in to help us on our upcoming trip. I know some people were really upset that we said, oh yeah, we're doing a trip, and if anyone wants to help with the costs, let us know. But at the end of the day, we're running a YouTube channel, and that costs money. And we've just brought 2 new people on board. Winter has just completed his first week. Well done, Winter. And Katie is going to be starting her first week tomorrow, starting Monday, which is going to be really exciting. And the reason we're bringing new people on board is because making all of this content costs a lot of time and a lot of money. If I look tired, it's because I have probably done about 55 hours of work this week. Just making videos, keeping the channel running. Bringing new people on board means that there are a lot of extra meetings that you have to do, which I hadn't really figured out before, but it's true. There are a lot of extra meetings that are involved with bringing new staff on board. So if I look tired, I'm sorry. I'm going to take a bit of a break this weekend. So hopefully I'll feel a little bit better come Monday. And obviously we're going on a road trip in a week's time, which means that next weekend videos are going to be probably slightly different, and probably the following weekend as well. Now to the thought of the day. It's nice and windy here today. I want to talk to you about tiny homes. And I want to know what your opinions on tiny homes are. Now, tiny homes, if you don't already know, are houses that are very small. They are ones that are very often ones that you can pull on a special trailer behind a pickup truck or something, allow you to move around with your house. But they are often built with energy efficiency and energy savings and minimalist living in mind. Now, one of the reasons why I want to know about this is that my niece, Rachel, actually has a YouTube channel called Rachel Going Tiny. It's not about her shrinking, it's about her building, or rather buying, a tiny house and living in it. And so she's always on the lookout for new subscribers, so go check her out if you haven't already subscribed. I'll make sure I leave a link below. But I want to know how many of you guys have ever experienced a tiny house. How many of you guys have considered building or buying a tiny house of your own? And how many of you have actually had any kind of experience with a tiny home? I know, running Transport Evolved, with the hobbies that I have and the things that I do, a tiny house wouldn't work for me. While I love small buildings, I like small cars, I like small buildings, and I find them cozy and comfortable, I know for a fact that I wouldn't be able to live in a tiny home. For example, I have a 1904 piano, which wouldn't fit in a tiny home. I have hobbies that require me to have sewing machines and lots of crafting supplies. I run a business with servers and camera equipment, and the biggest room in the house is our studio setup where we do all the filming. And then the other side of that is the edit room, the office where we do all the editing. And I know that we are kind of crammed into a 2,000 square foot house. So I know the idea of moving into a 100 or 200 square foot tiny home is just not possible for us. But I know that some of you guys might actually be able to do it. And Erin on our staff here at Transport Evolved has often talked to me about tiny houses. She's very interested by this subject. And as somebody who is a fairly recent graduate from university, college. She cannot yet afford to buy a massive house like we have here. So she's been seriously looking at the prospect of using a tiny house to escape the horror that is rental, because right now rent inequality is a very real thing. People are struggling to actually rent places. And to give you an example, the apartment that we moved into when we moved to America was an apartment that we were paying, I think, $1,850 a month. Now, bear in mind, that was a 1,500 square foot apartment with a garage attached, and it had 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. So it was kind of a fairly luxury apartment. But I looked online this week to find out how much that apartment would cost me now to rent, and it turns out they are now asking $4,000 a month rent. Now, that is nowhere near affordable for me today. That's like more than twice what my current mortgage is, which is crazy. And so, obviously, if you're a young person trying to get on the housing ladder, very often you don't have enough money to actually buy a house, a brick and mortar house, although over here they're made of wood. But you might have the money to buy a tiny home. So I want to know how many of you have given it a thought, how many of you are seriously interested in tiny homes as a way forwards, and what you think the future for tiny homes looks like. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to check out Rachel's channel. That's Rachel Going Tiny on YouTube. As I say, I'll link to it below. And I'll be back tomorrow with usual content. Thanks again to all of the amazing people who've supported the channel, who continue to support the channel. Building this channel is something that I've wanted to do for a really long time. And we're finally at the point where we can afford to pay part-timers. We've got Erin as a full-time member of staff, and it's really amazing. And I know I talk about it a lot, but thank you. Without you guys, you wouldn't be able to do it. And I know right now I'm still working 50, 60 hours a week, but hopefully soon that will change. And there will be other people with videos as well. The only other things we really need to get are a video editor and also a camera person, but we can't really do that in lockdown, so we're gonna have to wait until after the lockdown is done. And if you are a composer, we've had a couple of people reach out and ask us if they could help make theme songs for Transport Evolved. And a couple of you reached out, and I'm afraid I'm really terrible and I've lost some of your contact details. So if you are one of those people who reached out and was like, yeah, I'd love to help you make a jingle, can you just reach out again? Either in the comments below or send us an email, show@transportevolved.com. Okay, that really is it. Thanks for joining me. I'm cold. I'm going to go inside and get a nice warm cup of tea. Keep evolving.